Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? It is hot. It is very, very hot in Imbara, but I love it. Also, like this, the rain. In Imbara, rain is funny. Rain can rain for like 10 minutes, and then it's back to sunshine like this. But I like them both. It's a cool, serene kind of environment and atmosphere, which I like. How are you guys? I hope you're fine. I hope your Sunday is treating you well. Today is going to be a little bit of a different talk. Um, Yesterday, I was talking to a friend of mine that come for a barrio of ours called a friend of ours called Kenneth, and so she asked me, "Yeah, how are you? Are you okay? Is everything okay? Fine?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine." She said, "Konkaja kiorije, about you stand." I said, "I'm fine." She said, "You're not fine." And then I told her for the last few days I've not been feeling too well. Um, I have depression, yeah. And I told her about everything that I've gone through with the depression, and she was amazed that I could be that open about it. So she quickly asked me, I said, "My Jackie, you have Real Talk, yeah? Why don't you use Real Talk as a channel to inform, explain what real talk is?" Because most people go through depression and they don't know that they have depression. It's very true. It was the same thing with me. Um, right now, as we speak, I am going through it, but it will calm down. And it's of course brought up by triggers, different kind of triggers, and but once you get to know how to manage it or how to handle it, it is very important. Yeah. So I wanted to start like a group. Yeah. A group where I'm going to, we're going to have people. I don't know whether it's going to be on Zoom. I don't know whether it's going, we do it on WhatsApp, and maybe I form a broadcast, and whoever wants continues joining that broadcast. And once we have like 20 or 30 people, whoever wants to join continues joining, so that we discuss and know exactly what depression is about. And information is key. I'm telling you guys, information is really, really key. And it's something, it's depression. There's a lot of, um, what they call it, stigma. There's a lot of stigma around depression. People will be like, "Oh, I talk about depression and then they say I'm mad." I'm like, guys, it's okay. It's okay to talk about depression. Um, the first time I came to Bara, I actually thought I was not in a good mood, but I was not in a good mood because I had left home. It was a different environment. I found so many things that had not been done properly, so I was not in a good mood. But of course came the cancer. Um, After the cancer came Jesse, who I had adopted. He got really sick. Then after that, because I was not taking my medication, I went into coma caused by the hospital. So there were so many things coming on. Then comes 2023, my mom passes on. So too many things were going on. And then in the same 2023, I started doing gym, which made me feel good. It made me look forward to the following day, you know. The shop that time was not doing badly, but it was slow. And then I got a trigger. I got a serious trigger of being promised something and it's not done. And that is when now I felt I needed. Actually, I was at home, and I was getting into the kitchen. I had a bad bad migraine, horrible migraine. By the time I reached the kitchen to tell my girls I have a terrible migraine, I collapsed. Now, the beauty, God is amazing. The beauty about it was that I had a doctor here, Dr. D. I had another friend here called Peter. I had another friend here called Coach. And then I had my two girls. So everybody was here. So when I collapsed, Maureen quickly, one of my girls quickly got me and said, rubbing my head. Amazingly, Dr. D had those cannula things for like this, like paracetamol. So she told Coach, quickly run, get the tube and everything was done so fast. And then after that, Doreen advised, after my headache went down, Doreen advised that, you know what, guys, I think Jackie needs to go to the hospital. So when I went to the hospital, they decided to call in a psychologist or physician, something like that, who asks you some questions. And depending on the questions and the answers, they can tell whether you're depressed or not. Now, that's when they found out that I was depressed. So, advice, go to a counselor first, have some sessions with the counselor, then you go to a psychiatrist. But I can tell you that this depression, it needs a lot of family support. It needs a lot of friendship support. It needs a lot of support. Because if you're depressed and you're alone, you can kill yourself. To be honest, you can kill yourself. As I've said, like right now, people must be wondering, she's saying she's depressed. Oh, yes. I'm depressed and I can know I'm depressed because like this morning, before I went out, I asked one of my girls, why are you here? Why aren't you at the shop? And she's like, but mommy, today is Sunday. I was like, oh, okay. So I went out, I do my stuff, I come back. I'm like, Brenda, why are you here? And she's like, mommy, I told you it is Sunday. Now, from days before, actually at the beginning of this week, I'm over asking things that don't make sense, like I'll ask, why are there 5 chairs instead of 6? And they've always been 5 because the 5th chair is being used for something else. And then today, that's the questioning, and then someone will ask me, like, mommy, what's today? The girls, I always encourage them to test my brain if I've started, don't worry, this is menopause. If I've started acting weird, they'll tell me to ask me different questions. Hey, mommy, what's today? I'll say it's Tuesday, and it's Thursday. So, mommy, what's the date today? I'll give a totally different date. So at that point, they will know that I have depression. But I'm one person who is blessed, and a psychiatrist told me I'm one person who is blessed. I don't get angry. I just lose, like, I don't want to be in anybody's space. I openly tell them, guys, I'm going to be in my room. I need my curtains closed. I just need silence. I just want to be me. Yeah. And then that's when they know that the depression has gone in. And of course, I take my tablets every night. That's putting on weight. There's nothing you can do about it. So actually, recently when I spoke to my doctor, he asked me, this is the first thing he asked me. He told me, Jackie, are you on your meds or you're off your meds? I said, doctor, it has been a while seeing you. I had not seen him since December. But I started feeling funny. So I said, no, I got off the meds. He says, I can't tell from your eyes. I think people think that, well, we don't see or whatever, but I can tell from your eyes you've not been taken, and that is very dangerous. So these antidepressants make you put on weight so fast, and there's nothing you can do about it. At the end of the day, it's about your health. So on that broadcast list that I talked about earlier, that I want to start, I want to discuss different things that people always ask about depression, like how is your mood? Some people feel sad, some people are irritable, some people have loss of pleasure, and they're just not in the mood of being around people. Yeah. Why I wanted to take people through this is that so that you can know and say, oh, but I seem to be going through this, but I thought it was normal. And I will give you my number, my WhatsApp number, so that at the end, if you're interested, you just go to that number and you'll find depression. You'll just find the word depression awareness or something like that. Then it's a depression episode and not a mood swing. You have to know the difference, that it's either depression or a mood swing. Some people confuse the two. And it can last a day. The mood swing can last a day. But depression, if you're on your tabs, it will last a few hours and then go and then come back, and depending. One thing that we need to understand is that you might have poor concentration, you'd have a feeling of I don't want people around. You can have a feeling of stigma. I don't want people to know that I'm sick. You feel hopeless. Your sense of humor, your self-esteem just goes down because you put on weight. And your whole, not like me, Jackie. I was such a bubbly, oh my goodness, bubbly, outgoing there girl. But now, I'm not bubbly. I'm not bubbly anymore. I can laugh, I can scream, I can, people, they can't get into Jackie's bad books, you know, that kind of thing. But I'm not the same anymore. I am not as I was in Kampala. I'm not. And staying in my house is one of the most amazing thing for me now. And yet it's not good. So people may ask, like, how do you know if you're depressed? Remember, I read for you some of the things earlier. What triggers depression? Now, I want us to just look a bit on how do you know what triggers depression. Whatever that is negative, anything that could have happened in your past, any kind of trauma that could have happened in your past, let me even say 20 years ago, can come back. That's what they call PTSD. It can come back. Anything that makes you really sad, that makes you very angry. When you think about it, you're so angry. You're like, why? Why did that happen? Why did that person do that to me? Anything that makes you bitter can just take you off. And forgiveness. And forgiveness is another thing that can bring you depression. So someone asked that, how long can depression last? Depression can last your whole life with medication, and without medication, it can cause you death. So what do I do if I find out that I have depression? Please go to a doctor. ask for a psychologist. It's very good to start with a psychologist because that's a counselor. And after a psychologist, and they'll refer you to the psychiatrist, who now asks a bit of those questions as well because they've gotten the file from the psychologist. And then whatever has been spoken with the psychologist, then the psychiatrist, the difference is the psychiatrist can give you drugs and subscribe certain drugs to you. Okay. An important thing as well is that when you're in depression and you've gotten drugs, you're not allowed to hold the drugs. These drugs are very dangerous drugs. They can kill you. So they always ask you to come with somebody who will have a book in the referral. You have to buy a book where the doctor talks and writes and everything, and then you go with it. So at the beginning, they'll say that every tablet that is kept is going to be kept by Maureen. They take her number and everything. That is like real, if anything goes wrong, what happened. So what are the 5 causes of depression? There's emotional depression. Oh, by the way, there's clinical, what can I say, confusion and depression. Some people confuse the two. There's emotional and there's clinical. So you have to tell the truth, although most of the emotional falls into the clinical. When I read what I read badly ever since I started those are some of the things that are going to happen, but it's cool, I used to write very well. Now I write like a chicken, but it's okay because with the drugs your hands shake a bit, but it's fine. Some of this right now I'm okay. Before I was an artist. When do you need to seek help? Someone says when you need to seek help, treatment for depression, and we need to understand that depression is a mental state. It's in the head. So you have to be serious about it. Someone is asking that does depression last forever? I think I answered that before, that yes, if you don't take your medication, even when you take your medication, it depends on the trigger. Something can trigger you even when you're on your medicine. But if you're not on your medicine, I think I spoke about it, you'll continue going through ABCD until you find yourself killing yourself, committing suicide. Yeah. So and this side that I wrote, or this side, okay. So then the people are saying that is a persistence depression disorder. There's bipolar disorder, and there's the seasonal affective disorder. So we'll discuss all these then, because I believe if I continue to be too long. Psychological stressors include acute psychological trauma, or more subchronic disorder, and only definitely the level you don't want to reach, which is the death disorder. So that's how does one feel when they're going through disorder. You go through joint pain, you go through you go through joint pain, you go through back pain, you go through you just get irritated. You're feeling low, and you don't want anybody around you, and you have a problem with your appetite. So when I went through the how do you feel or what happens to you physically, I can just quickly just tell a story about myself. What happened is that when I got depression, I didn't actually know that I had depression. But during the depression, I started falling down. I'd always fall. I'd walk, all of a sudden I'm down. So with time, that is when Mars Hospital decided to call a physician to ask me a few questions, because I went to Mars and I was like, guys, I don't know what's happening to me. I'm always falling. My hips are hurting and all that kind of thing. And that's when they called the physician. And the physician told me, you're going through depression. So he requested that I go and see the psychologist. Thank my sister. She paid for all the sessions of the psychologist. And then my sweet dad, paid for all my sessions for the psychologist. But the beauty with the psychologist is just you pay like almost nothing. You pay like 3K. And that one I didn't used to. I don't even know whether daddy actually understands what this whole issue with the mind is, but we try to slowly tell it to him so that he doesn't get depressed. So I used to fall a lot. So when I went to Mars and they said I had depression, I went to referral, which is like Mulago. Many people but they've built such a nice place in referral for the mental people. And I saw the psychiatrist, yes, and told him, I was told to bring you this note, and that was from the psychologist. And I said, I have a lot of pain in my hip, I'm falling, I don't understand why. So they asked me whether I'd been on any drugs. I said no. All of a sudden I just get dizzy and I fall. And so they decided to give me other drugs. And in the process, even the other drugs, I always had to have somebody next to me all the time, because I would get dizzy and it wasn't nice. So around that time, my hip started hurting me like crazy. It was actually from my back to my hip to my thigh it was terrible. So they also suggested that I go and see an orthopedic. And the orthopedic I saw immediately told me to go to Mayanja Memorial, and get a CT scan down and an X-ray, which I did, and immediately told me, you have osteoarthritis. I'm like, okay, Jackie, depression, osteoarthritis, what's going on with me? Now, osteoarthritis is the degradation of the cartilage. Whenever I say cartilage, I think of that meat that you eat on the chicken. So I think there's that cartilage that is between the bones. It starts wearing off, And because of wearing off, you have to take some medication, magnesium and calcium, plus other medicines that you have to take every single day. And that's why I still work with my clutch. So that's why now you find me with my clutch, and I also then have depression, but depression is less now. It's the osteoarthritis that is really giving me a hard time. I went to the doctor in the middle of this week, and he just told me, please get stronger tablets. I was on tramadol. Now he told me to go get tramp. So I'm like, okay, too many tablets. So depression is something that you have to work on. Do not feel scared about it. Do not feel like you're stigmatized about it. Do not feel that people will look at you and say, oh my God, that's their problem. So there's some people who tell me that, Jackie, if I tell someone that I have depression, they'll say I'm mad. Are you mad? No, you're not mad. So just do with what you have to do. Your health is number one. Then there's the feeling of helplessness and hopelessness. You feel at that point that you're just hopeless. I just feel like I'm helpless, I'm hopeless. I can't do anything. I can't go to my shop because of my hip, the pain. I can't do much. In Kampala, when there are functions, family functions, some of them I cannot attend because I can't be in a car for more than so many hours. And it depends. It even makes the depression worse. So whenever there's a long journey that has to be made, I have to go to my psychiatrist and ask him, so Dr. Abel, can I go to Kampala? He'll ask me this, he'll ask me that. He'll say, no, stay in Kampala. You'll see your relatives some other time. It's quite annoying, but there's nothing you can do about it. So, loss of a very close friend of yours or your parent can also bring about depression. Weight is one of the biggest things that annoy women like me. I mean, I have never in my life been 108 kgs. What's that? 108 kgs. Jackie, I used to be a model, man, What is this? 108 kgs. But whenever I'm looking at it, I'm just looking up to God and saying, thank you. Thank you for the fact that I can get the medication. Thank you for the fact that I have people who can help me. Thank you for the medicine, for the medical team. Thank you for those who are helping me here. There's so many things to thank God for, despite what you're going through. Like right now, after this talk, I am going to my room, close my curtains. I want to just be alone. And it's something that people around me know. People around me know. My loved ones know. And yeah, people know. And when I'm just like, I'm like, I'm sorry, I just don't feel like having any guests today. I hope it's okay. I hope you're not offended. I hope, Those who understand will say, no, Jackie, come on, let's just come for 5 minutes. You're like, okay. And then others will be like, oh, Jackie, we understand what you're going through. It's okay. So there's the loss of joy. There's a loss of joy in your life. There's a loss of, what can I call it? Like You wake up in the morning, you have to put on your shorts, you have to put on this and get out and look nice and go on. And then another thing that really annoys me now is that, oh, my jeans, oh, my nice shorts don't fit me. So I'm going to, once I feel like going to town, and see if I can get some jeans. I used to love my tight jeggings and nice tops and feel nice. These days, all I can do is wear these long dresses. I mean, they're really nice. I love them, but it's all I can wear because all my other clothes can't feel. There's a time as I end. There's a time I called my girl Maureen. I called her, Maureen, I'm trying to put on this jean. I'm trying to put on this jean. She's like, okay, Mom, you know what we're going to do? You're going to pull from here. We're going to pull from here. I said, fine. So she puts on me, I pull from here. She pulls from me, I pull from here. So reach the part of the hip, where most of us have a problem. So I started dancing. She's also pulling people. We managed to get to the top, okay? But let me tell you, from here, I couldn't even, I couldn't even reach Peku here. Not even, I think even the time stopped here. It couldn't even go up to here. It couldn't. So we felt, and she just says, you know what, Mommy? She says, Mommy, let us agree that there are some clothes that are not going to fit you anymore, and you're going to fit in these ones. Let us agree. Until the Lord blesses us with money, and we can go and you get maybe 4 jeans and some t-shirts, and you're happy. But for now, let's enjoy ourselves in those long talks, those long dresses. I love you all, guys, and I hope that we'll be able. I'm going to open the broadcast today, and anybody who wants to join in, my number is 0785 381615. Yeah, that's the one on WhatsApp. 0785 381615. So you'll find depression. What should I call it? Depression talk, depression. I'll find the word. Let's call it depression talk. Oh, depression. I don't know. Oh, for call, we'll find a way. We'll find one to whatever. But I love you all, guys. I love you. And please know that when you find out that you have depression, it is not the end of the world. There are so many people around who are depressed and they don't know. But still, even when you find out you're depressed, smile, look nice, put on weight, and still put on makeup and be happy. I love you all, and this is Real Talk.